They told you the danger was the drug. They showed you the substance, the addiction, the fall. But what if that's not the truth? What if the real addiction started long before the first hit? The root of obsession is never the drug, it's the void inside. In the 19th century, the practice of smoking opium became widespread in China. Previously, opium had only been ingested via consumption, and then only for its medicinal properties. Opium was an anesthetic. The narcotic was also outlawed in China sometime in the early 18th century due to the societal issues it caused, due to a massive trade imbalance. Foreign merchants started to smuggle opium into China via Canton to the chagrin of the Chinese authorities. Attempts by Chinese official Lin Zexu to eliminate the trade led to the outbreak of the First Opium War. The Chinese defeat in the First and Second Opium Wars resulted in the legalization of the importation of opium into China. Opium smoking later spread with Chinese immigrants and led to the establishment of numerous opium dens in Chinatowns around the world. In the latter half of the 19th century, opium smoking became popular in the artistic community in Europe, especially in Paris. Artists' neighborhoods such as Montparnasse and Montmartre became virtual opium capitals. While opium dens that catered primarily to immigrant Chinese continued to exist in Chinatowns around the world, the trend among European artists largely abated after the outbreak of World War I. Ever since smoking was introduced outside of the Americas, there has been much vehement opposition to it. Arguments ranged from socioeconomic, with tobacco called a usurper of good farmland, to purely moralistic. Many religiously devout individuals saw tobacco as another form of immoral intoxication. Many arguments were presented that smoking was harmful, though critics were often not based on scientific arguments, relying on humorism and other pre-modern scientific methods. Dr. Elizur Duncan, 1606, wrote that tobacco is so hurtful and dangerous to youth, it might have the pernicious nation express in the name, Youth Spain. Early 17th century descriptive notices portrayed tobacconists and smokers as individuals suffering from false self-images and mistaken illusions. Though physicians as early as 1798 claimed tobacco use negatively impacted health, serious medical studies only began in the early 20th century. In 1907, advertisement for Grimaud's Indian cigarettes emphasized relief for asthma and respiratory conditions. In the late 19th century, automated cigarette-making machinery was invented. Cigarettes became elegant and fashionable among society men as the Victorian era gave way to the Edwardian. In 1912, American Dr. Isaac Adler was the first to strongly suggest that lung cancer was related to smoking. Prior to World War I, lung cancer was rare, but post-war cigarette smoking led to significant increases and new investigations. In 1929, German scientist Fritz Lichen published a formal statistical description of a lung cancer tobacco link in Germany. Anti-smoking groups published advocacy in journals such as Der Tabakgegner and Deutsche Tabakgegner. After Adolf Hitler rose to power in 1933, he condemned smoking as decadent. Nazi reproductive policy strengthened the anti-smoking movement. Women who smoked were considered unsuitable for family life, and claims were made about nicotine in breast milk. A true breakthrough came in 1948, when British epidemiologist Richard Dahl published the first major studies on smoking's health impact. While some physicians in the United States once pitched cigarettes as health-improving products, others began to argue it was unethical to smoke. In 1950, Richard Dahl published research in the British Medical Journal that showed a close link between smoking and lung cancer. 4 years later, the British doctors' study of some 40,000 doctors confirmed the suggestion, leading the UK government to issue health advice. The study continued until 2001, with results published every 10 years, ending with final results in 2000 by Dahl and Richard Peto. Much early research was also done by Dr. Ochsner. and publications like Reader's Digest frequently carried anti-smoking articles. In 1964, the United States Surgeon General's report on smoking and health began, suggesting a link between smoking and cancer. This led to bans on certain advertising and requirements for health warning labels on tobacco products. In the 21st century, smoking has become stigmatized throughout Western societies, though it remains common in lower socioeconomic backgrounds. A recent development is the rise in popularity of e-cigarettes, with some health institutions initially praising them for helping people quit. Many studies concluded e-cigarettes may help smoking cessation, but the long-term side effects of vaping remain unknown. By late 2019, vaping-associated lung injury was described, a form of lipoid pneumonia linked to illicit e-liquids. The tobacco industry responded by developing cessation tools, manufacturing e-cigarettes, and interfering with regulatory agencies. In the United Kingdom, millions now vape to quit smoking, and debate continues over how e-cigarettes should be regulated. In the early 1980s, the majority of cocaine shipped to the United States that arrived at Miami came through the Bahamas. Overproduction of cocaine powder in those islands drove the price down by as much as 80%. Confronted with falling profits, drug dealers decided to convert the powder to crack, a solid, smokable form of cocaine. It was cheap, simple to produce, ready to use, and highly profitable. As early as 1980, reports of crack appeared in Los Angeles, San Diego, Houston, and the Caribbean. This growth in popularity abated in the late 1990s. Criminologist Alfred Blumstein described this change as resulting from tighter gun restrictions in areas where crack cocaine was prevalent. This shift also stemmed from a shrinking market and its institutionalization, a stronger economy, and increased job availability. In the silent corners of the human mind, a rhythm begins. It is not just a heartbeat, it is the sound of a deepening hunger. We often think of addiction as a mistake, a lapse in judgment. But what if it was designed, engineered to fill a void we cannot name? From the ritualistic use of ancient plants to the cold, sterile production lines of modern industry, the journey of obsession has evolved. What was once sacred has been transformed into a commodity. The boardroom replaced the healer, and the pill replaced the prayer. It starts in the doctor's office, with a promise of relief. A signature on a pad, a bottle on a nightstand, a trap set in ink. OxyContin. A name that promised an end to pain but instead delivered a new, more terrifying form of suffering for millions. Inside the brain, the chemistry of joy is hijacked. The lights flicker on with an intense fire, only to fade into a cold, gray ash. Then there is the white heat of the street. Cocaine offers a crown of confidence, built on a foundation of sand and glass. The high is a thief. It steals the future to pay for a momentary spark, leaving behind a hollow reflection in the mirror. But some monsters are born in labs, crafted from chemicals and desperation. Methamphetamine doesn't just take your life, it erases who you were. The transformation is physical. The skin withers, the weight drops, and the eyes begin to dart, searching for a ghost that isn't there. Yet, the most dangerous addiction is the one we toast to. It's found in the golden glow of a glass, shared among friends. But when the party ends, the silence is deafening. The same liquid that fuels the celebration becomes a lonely companion in the dark. It's happening in our homes, behind closed doors. Household items and common prescriptions are becoming the new gateway for the next generation. We chase the substance, thinking it is the enemy. But the drug is only the shadow. The real enemy is the void within. To heal, we must look past the bottle and the needle. We must address the pain that the obsession tried to mask. There is a way back. It starts with a single step out of the shadows and into the warmth of the rising sun. The root of obsession is never the drug. It is the void inside. Subscribe to The Root of Obsession and join the conversation. You can destroy the substance. You can fight the habit. Run from the addiction. But if you never face what's inside, it will find another way back in. Because the root of obsession was never the drug, it was the void inside.